So for those who don't know, I'm currently visiting Taiwan, hence the lack of setup, and every time I come here, I'm always surprised by how many video game related things I can find when I'm just out and about, because unlike in America, video games are way more mainstream here, and you'll find way more video game related things. You could argue it's somewhat mainstream in America, but it's nothing compared to like Japan or Taiwan. And yeah, throughout my visit, while my wife was having a checkup over in Taipei, as she is pregnant and her kid is due in June, the main reason why we are currently visiting at the moment, we found several pop-up shops and just general Nintendo stores that have opened up, which is so cool. And I thought I'd kind of just document some of the stuff I got and what it's like to visit those, because they're not that common in America. I mean, we got Nintendo NYC and we have a new one opening up, but other than that, you don't really see them as often. And yeah, there is so much in terms of like video game related things that can just impact your day to day. Like one thing that you normally do when you're here is you travel with public transportation using the metro, and you want to use a card. Everything is like through this card that you can pretty much purchase whatever you want with it. You just kind of, you know, add money to it and then you use it throughout the subway and everything. And yeah, it's so convenient because literally everything can just kind of be universally connected with like one thing. But on top of it, yeah, they give out, and pretty much my wife got this from Japan. It's a, you know, Breath of the Wild Sheikah Slate kind of case for it, so that way I can just kind of clip it on me and literally scan it like I'm Link with the Sheikah Slate, and that way I can enter the metro in and out, and it just kind of, you know, does it all for me. It's so cool and convenient, and there's so much more like this, like this card I have here, which is literally based off of the new Pokémon Center in Taipei, as you can see, and literally I'll be able to fill up this card with cash and just use it instead of the one I'm currently using. Too bad there isn't a Zelda one, but yeah, what I want to discuss are the 3 stores that I visited just literally the other day, all in the same day, believe it or not, because again, we were visiting Taipei, which is like the main city of Taiwan, and literally in one mall alone we found 2 of the shops that I want to mention, which one is a Nintendo store that opened up, like an official Nintendo store, and then the other one is a Kirby shop, and the last one is the Pokémon Center of Taipei, which yeah, is similar to all the other Pokemon centers in Japan, but we finally have one in Taipei, which was just super cool because it was kind of unexpected. You know, we kind of just stumbled upon it, and it was really cool to kind of figure out. So yeah, let's get into the Nintendo one first, 'cause I'm sure that's the one you guys are most interested in, and we'll kind of, you know, just give you an idea of what it was like to go to all 3 of them, because again, I feel like any gamer would really appreciate just being able to visit stores like this. To me, it's surreal. I really do feel like visiting countries like this as like an American who loves Nintendo, it's a culture shock, because it's just so cool to see. You don't think it's this mainstream until you come to a country like this. But yeah, let's check out the Nintendo store first. But yeah, immediately when you see it, you know it's official, even though it's very small, as you see this giant, unique Mario statue with him coming out of a warp pipe. I have to take a photo next to him. I'll make sure to show that on screen. But yeah, the store itself was kind of lacking, I'll be honest. There wasn't really much going on. It had a lot of this random memorabilia regarding Nintendo, but not so much in terms of Zelda, which obviously is what I was looking for the most. It had this small little corner where it had a couple Zelda plushies, which I don't think are uncommon to get even in the US. Of course, I had to get the Korok one. You know me, it looked absolutely badass. Yeah, as you can see here, I still have him in the bag, as I do want to carry him back to the US. So I'll get those 2 Korok seeds and reunite him with his friend, that big, the Makar plushie I have, and hopefully I'll be rewarded. It's gonna be the hardest Korok seed I'll ever have to get, but it will be worth it. But yeah, I didn't want to get the Link and Zelda plushies because, again, I don't want to carry too much back home, and I'm pretty sure you can buy those in the US. Maybe you can even buy this one, but I had to get it just because I was there. My wife, of course, picked up the Peach plushie, you know, her dressed in this dope outfit from, you know, Princess Peach Showtime. One thing, though, I find kind of weird or cute is Peach's legs. As you can tell, they are high heels, but when you have them sideways like this, they kind of just look like chicken legs. But yeah, so sadly with the Nintendo store, there wasn't really much going on with it. It was lacking even compared to like the Nintendo NYC store we have in America. Luckily, we're getting another one in the US, but again, it's really nice to see here as well, but it's nothing like anything you'll find both in America and in Japan. It's just like a smaller one. I don't know if it will be just a pop-up shop or if they're open permanently, but when I did go to the Pokémon Center, we literally found a coming soon like Nintendo store opening up right next to it, which is going to be so cool. I'll be able to visit both back to back. So whenever that opens up, I'll be sure to make a video. I literally took a photo of it in surprise, soy jack face and all. But yeah, overall, just a really cool experience. Even though there's not much going on, it's just kind of nice to walk in and, you know, embrace Nintendo in that sense. But yeah, speaking of Nintendo, let's get into the Kirby shop. It was more of a pop-up shop, but it was still really cute and nice to visit. So the Kirby store wasn't too big either. Again, it was more of a pop-up shop, as they each had a bunch of walls in the center of like an open area of the mall, and those walls though were decorated with this beautiful Kirby artwork. It was absolutely adorable walking into it. And then in it you just have like a couple of, you know, areas in which you can buy a bunch of random all over the place Kirby memorabilia, like literally Kirby's face on anything you imagine. There's some Kirby related merchandise for it, which I don't mind, because again, I picked up a couple stuff. Like again, for me, I'd rather like get something like this towel, because I can use this day to day, and it's, I mean, absolutely adorable, I have to say. Now, the Kirby shop was also a little bit underwhelming, as it seemed more like a pop-up shop, but it was still cute nonetheless, especially walking in, seeing the giant crane and all the Kirby artwork, and of course, once you walk in, the Kirby merchandise, it is an overload of Kirby related things. I mean, legit, it is insane how many things they can slap Kirby's face on, but I mean, it makes each and everything cute, and I kind of want them all. Of course, I had to compromise and only get a few things that I do see myself wanting. I mean, because I do want to also bring all of this back to the US, so I'm not trying to purchase too much, and in general, like I said, I'm more of a fan of just kind of day-to-day things that you can use, and again, they have plenty of that. So many unnecessary things with Kirby on it. It is hilarious. I'll be real, plushies are like the main thing you're gonna find throughout these, but also you're gonna find a bunch of like little keychains, toys you can kind of put together, or figurines. Also just kind of day-to-day things like silverware, spoons, plates, you know, rugs, just random stuff. Again, things you don't really need, but you want. And the Kirby store was not much different than Nintendo in terms of just mainly focusing on Kirby. There's a lot of things I found in the Nintendo store that was also in the Kirby store, like a weird Kirby hammer. But again, plushies being the mainstay, along with just like random bags, umbrellas, little things that again you can kind of use day to day. I find those more useful than all the plushies they have. And one thing I really appreciated about the Kirby store was all the artwork they had. You know, they had Kirby all throughout the walls, and stars, and like little food that would power up Kirby. But again, being able to kind of walk and browse in person is really nice, outside of the crazy amount of people that you have to kind of bump and weave between. I'd like to think it wasn't that crowded, but again, with how small the stores are in general and how small the aisles are, it's really hard to avoid anyone. You're just kind of always, you know, trying to kind of get your way across. But overall, it was such a cool experience. Just seeing Kirby all over the place in person, again, feels surreal to me, as something I'm definitely not used to seeing in the States. Oh, and let me not sit on this piece of merchandise too long and mention it, and that is, I am literally sitting on it, yes, pun intended, as this is just a giant Kirby, you know, kind of like pillow for your butt, and it is definitely really comfy. I feel bad for Kirby having to deal with that, but yeah, also got my wife a Waddle Dee version. Hopefully she'll put that to use. It's still in the package, but yeah, in general, just stuff that I can generally use, I'm more interested in. And another thing that's really nice about these shops is they have just so much random merch. It's not, you know, specific to just video game or collecting per se. It's just literally stuff you can use in your day-to-day. I'd say like the only thing I bought that is just kind of gonna sit on my desk and collect dust is this cute Kirby, you know, sleeping wearing the sword fighter hat. It's kind of like a sleepwear, you know, nightcap. which fits him. Again, that's my favorite Kirby outfit, of course, you know, him being in the Link look-alike version. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not really much else. I mean, one of these, this is Jigglypuff though, so not Kirby. Wait, wrong game. Wait, I didn't say this for the Pokemon one. For far away, it looked like Kirby, so my bad. But speaking of Pokemon, yeah, sadly, not much else going on for the Kirby one. The Pokemon was the biggest one because, again, it was an actual Pokemon Center, as they have a bunch of them throughout Japan, and I visited several of them, but it was nice to visit one in Taipei. And yeah, let's get into that one because I feel like there's a lot more to share in that regard. So yeah, the Pokemon Center of Taipei was easily the most grand of the three, and yeah, walking into it, I mean, you could tell. You got this giant Dragonite and Pikachu statue. I made sure to take a photo next to that. It's funny because I feel like I'm the only one, like, throughout all of these areas I visited taking a photo, because I guess I'm the tourist. I had to. This is not an everyday thing for me. Most of the locals, I guess, see the store every day or can see it whenever they want to, but I don't have that luxury, so I felt like I'm the only one doing like, you know, filming while I'm walking around or like taking photos unnecessarily. But again, just to share it with you guys, I think it's pretty cool and to look back at altogether. But yeah, the Pokemon place, like mentioned before, literally had exclusive things for Taipei. I remember in Japan, they literally gave you exclusive Pokemon cards depending on the Pokemon Center you went to. Too bad they didn't do the same with there, but I mean, I still got a Pokemon card, right? This kind of Metro Pass that, again, passes as a card for all sorts of purchasing needs, which is super nice. They also had, because I guess Dragonite is the Pokemon of choice with Pikachu riding it, they had this dope little Dragonite kind of like attachment that I can kind of use like this, you know, onto a card. So like maybe when I put my Pokemon card in here, I can then attach this thing with it and have this dope little Dragonite. Or I could just use it as a keychain, honestly. It doesn't really matter, but it is pretty dope. And the last thing that was exclusive to the Pokemon Center in Taipei was, again, Dragonite and Pokemon with Pokemon. I literally called Pikachu Pokemon because it's like the default Pokemon, but no, Dragonite and Pikachu chilling next to a building here. I don't think that's Taipei 101, but it's some building, which is really cute to see. Again, I'll make sure to show the photo of me posing. Probably will use it for the thumbnail, and just in general, you'll get a nice pan shot of all of that. But yeah, there was so much random merchandise you can get there, but I feel like plushies were the main thing. There were just so many stands and areas just for the plushies. But again, what interested me more was kind of the little knickknacks that I can use day to day, kind of like this wallet here that is a Pokemon and Starlight Knight with Eevee on it. It's kind of cute. Or these Pokemon chopsticks that you can carry with you on the go. I had to pick that up as well. And again, as mentioned, the Pokemon spoon, you know, with Pokemon itself. That's not Pikachu, obviously it's Pikachu. The light here, again, I don't have the best setup going on. Trying to make do with what I have. Again, I'm in Taiwan, don't even have the setup. The light I have is not in the best position, but trying to make do. Hopefully you guys do understand. But along with that, again, they had a whole section for just Pokemon cards, and it was cool to see all the energy icons back to back on the wall, again displayed. It is so dope to see these stuff in person, along with like the Pokemon game and app gallery, as you can literally scan these Pokepucks, they're not really balls, onto this bigger Pokeball type thing, and then it would show you information of that game or app, which was just so cool to be able to like interact with it in person. But of course, outside of the games, which each store did have, as they're all based off of video game franchises, there's also so many knickknacks you can collect, like keychains, you know, little toys, you know, like phone lanyards or things to add to it, along with like Tupperware or like earrings, which is super cool. I mean, I'm more interested in that than, again, a plushie. But overall, I would have to say that the Pokemon store was definitely the most exciting to visit out of the three. Not because I'm a huge Pokemon fan or anything. It's just that it was the most spacious out of them and really well put together. Again, with the Dragonite and Pikachu combo, along with like the giant sign that would show it. Even outside of the mall when we first we're walking by it, we could see signs telling us, you know, on floor 3 there's the Pokémon Center Taipei, and I knew we had to go there. But yeah, Pokemon Place, obviously so much bigger, you're not as crowded, there's not so many people, and even if there are so many people, you can kind of maneuver around, because that's again one issue I really didn't like when it came to the other 2 stores. I could barely move. Again, being a bigger guy myself, at least compared to, you know, Taiwanese folk, I feel like literally have to bob and weave and kind of like, you know, put my shoulders together and just kind of fit in and squeeze myself in, because yeah, in general, stores are always very small, and if they're not cluttered, they're still hard to navigate around. But these obviously were hella cluttered. All 3 stores were pretty, you know, booming with customers. And I don't know if it's just because of the time we were there, or just in general because they're new stores. Because yeah, 2 years ago when I was visiting Taiwan, none of these 3 stores were even there. And I mean, now we only got a newer one opening up as well, so that is pretty exciting. But yeah, I'm sure those in bigger cities completely understand what that's like. I'm, you know, a country boy. I was born and raised in Iowa on the Cairn, you know. I'm not used to that. I'm used to my space. I'm used to way more space when it comes to areas of living or just generally moving out and about. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever get used to it. It's always something I have to get used to when I visit countries like this or cities like Chicago or New York. And yeah, it's something I just do not enjoy. But again, that's not me. Like I said, I'm more like Link. I like to live out in the wild, the breath of the wild, instead of in the city. But again, just for the opportunity to be able to see stuff like this, obviously it's worth it. But in general, whether you're a bigger Pokemon, Nintendo, or Kirby fan, being able to walk in these shops in person is, again, surreal being a video game fan. It is always a huge delight when I come back to countries like Taiwan or Japan and just kind of see how mainstream video game culture is compared to America. Because again, while you may argue it somewhat feels that way, it's not even close compared to these countries. It is literally all over the place, which is just so amazing. And again, I'm even more excited as there is a new Nintendo store opening up right next to the Pokémon Center. So a different one than the smaller one that I mentioned earlier. And yeah, you know, the second that opens up, I'm going to be making a video visiting that. It's going to be absolutely exciting. Hopefully it's a bit bigger than the other Nintendo store, of course. And again, it's not just limited to video game culture. It's all sorts of nerd culture like anime and other sorts of fictional movies like Harry Potter. There's literally a Harry Potter shop that I do want to show off, along with Studio Ghibli. They have a shop there. I'm definitely going to be making a members only video showcasing that, so if you are interested, make sure to consider becoming a member, and you can check that out along with all sorts of other members only videos. But as a random example, when we were walking to the Pokemon store, we found a shop that was doing a collab with Yu-Gi-Oh, and they had so many cool Yu-Gi-Oh related merch, along with some Dragon Ball Z one. I literally even got a Dragon Ball Z beanie, which I thought was pretty badass. I don't care how stupid this looks, I had to show it off. Yeah, there we go. We got this dope little beanie. It's not that crazy, but I mean, I just kind of like how it has this symbol here. There was a Capsule Corp one as well, but I didn't want to bother with that. I feel like maybe I'd be able to pick that one up in the US. But yeah, in general, I thought it'd be fun to kind of make this video and showcase my experience on it all, as yeah, this is something that I don't commonly see, at least throughout the US. And as a giant video game fan, it's an absolute delight to kind of stumble upon these. But please let me know what you guys think, and if there's any other kind of video you'd like to see me make while I am out and about. I might actually go to Japan to pick up my Nintendo Switch 2, so if that is the case, maybe I'll document my experience. Let me know if that'd be something that would interest you. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like to show your support. I would greatly appreciate it. And that about does it for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been ZM, and I'll see you all in the next one.